I believe that that we all should work with OTOC and the stakeholders to improve safety for tenants, not just refugees, but for all tenants, for all people who maybe don't feel like they have a voice. I first started working on this issue when I worked at the Creighton Legal Clinic, I think a good 14 years ago, with Catherine Mahern, and we had people come in with some of these issues. I then saw it compounded when I was a domestic violence prosecutor. I was in the same courtroom in the afternoons when a lot of these landlords were being prosecuted. And you know what I would see? I would see continuance after continuance after continuance for some of the same slum landlords that would come about. And I think what we need to do is make sure that our prosecutor's office is making this a focus so that they aren't just getting lost. They aren't just being shuffled as another case. We need to have 1 or 2 prosecutors that know these cases, that are there, that aren't letting them continue the cases, and make sure we enforce the laws that we have. And I believe our city charter requires that we have an open, transparent RFP for any contract that we have, and I would support that, not just with the waste management contract and our garbage contract, but with every contract with the city. When it comes to Omaha, I absolutely love the product. Did a tour of Omaha, and they actually use recycled Gary Gurnett signs, and so we thought it was great. And I think we should actually look at privatizing Omaha. I don't want to see Omaha go away, but maybe that's something that needs to be privatized, and then people who do find it very important would be willing to pay the extra. I think what we need to do, though, is have these conversations. I would like to say, come talk trash with Aimee Melton all summer. I'm going to throw once a month, throw 3 sessions where we just talk about this. At what cost are we willing to pay in order to keep Omaha? I think everybody agrees it's great. It's just how much are we willing to pay to keep it? And I think that's the question that needs to be answered, and that's what we all need to decide together. Thank you. Thank you. And
Councilperson Melton, we would like to confirm we didn't think that you stood up on PACE lending. Is that correct, that you're a no on that?
Well, I'm going to explain that because you asked about commercial and residential, and
yeah,
so I'd like to explain that.
Yes, we'd love for you to explain it too, but just wanted to make sure that you did not stand and that meant no. When you did not stand.
It meant no on half of it because you asked a compound question.
Correct.
So,
we want both.
right.
And so you're
so
no
I couldn't
for both.
half stand up. That's what I wanted to do.
Please go ahead.
All right. Well, thank you. Actually, the commercial PACE ordinance that's on our agenda for public hearing tomorrow is my ordinance. I've been working on the PACE ordinance for the last 9 months, which I have explained. And I chose to do the commercial PACE before the residential PACE because we were just talking about payday loans. We were just talking about predatory lenders. And you know what? The residential PACE, my biggest concern, not against it, my biggest concern is that these are third-party lenders, and those third-party lenders could take advantage of the very people that we're trying to help, that everybody in this room is trying to help on a daily basis. The refugee, the widow, the single mom that maybe doesn't have enough money but looks to this and can get taken advantage of because you're told, oh, don't worry about it, it'll just go on your property, it'll just be an assessment that, by the way, you're going to have to pay back it through your taxes every year. And so they're not necessarily aware of how that mortgage payment could go up. So I'm very, very concerned about passing residential PACE. And before I do that, I want to go around the country and I want to make sure that the problems other cities are having with residential PACE, we don't repeat, so that I don't actually pass something that adds predatory lenders to take advantage of people, just like the young lady that was up here earlier. I don't want that to happen. So sometimes things that look real pretty in the package, when you open it up, it's rotten. So I just want to make sure we don't do that here in the city of Omaha. Some of the things that I'm very concerned about, that I have been concerned about actually most of my adult life, domestic violence. It's something that I've been working on when I was a former prosecutor with Douglas County, and then into the city council as a member of the Domestic Violence Council, and I still continue to make that one of my priorities, is eliminating domestic violence. Not just for, I think we heard from the immigrant and refugee here earlier, but domestic violence occurs amongst everyone in the community, all levels of people. And so I really want to continue to work to make that happen, which is part of the safety. Public safety, infrastructure, and taxes and spending are the 3 things that I think we should be most concerned about on the city council for all of you. because we are stewards of your tax dollars, as I think was said earlier, and we need to make sure we are spending it correctly, and that we're spending it so that we are helping people, but we're helping in a fiscally conservative way, so that we're not just throwing your money away, because you work hard for that money, and we need to make sure we spend it appropriately. So thank you.